This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com, and on the line is WWE, NWA, WCW legend Billy Jack Haynes, who was also known as Black Blood.
How you doing, Hannibal?
Very good, and you?
Well, I'm doing okay. As my buddy's not Rip Oliver. He's not doing too good right now, but I'm here with him.
Yes, you're staying with Rip Oliver, taking care of him now. He was going to appear with you at WrestleCon at the Hannibal TV table April 3rd and 4th in Tampa, but I understand his health, unfortunately, he's having severe heart issues, so it's going to be you, and maybe if he recovers, a future date with him.
Yes, sir. All we can do is pray for that, Hannibal. He helped break me into business, and I'm loyal to that, and I'm here with him like he'd be here with me if I was sick, and you're absolutely right there.
I understand Brian Blair, the president of the Cauliflower Alley Club, has been in contact with him a bit and helped him out a bit, so that's good to hear. But what's the status of his health right now?
Well, first, Hannibal, I want to really thank the Cauliflower Alley Club and President Brian Blair and Darlene and Dean Silverstone in the state of Washington, who came through for Rip and helped pay his back property taxes that he owed to save his house. He got all his utilities turned on for him. So thanks to Cauliflower Alley Club. God bless those people, beautiful people, care about old-time wrestlers. And Rip is critical, and he's on 24-hour oxygen. Went to the doctor's office today. I don't know how he made it, but he's got some real bad issues with COPD, chronic, and only 29 to 31 of his heart is functioning. So it's critical.
That's really sad to hear. Is there any one of your matches, you've had so many with him over the years, that stands out to you as your favorite with Rip?
Yeah, there was a match. Actually, it's when Playboy Buddy Rose out there turned babyface, and it's on the internet. Kurt Hennig and I were breaking in about the same time, and we were both out there as Mr. Perfect, and in a triple tag match with Rip Oliver, the Assassin, and Dynamite Kid. And Dynamite helped me out a great deal, as did Duke Myers in Calgary. And I remember that match. It was an extremely good match. He taught me well. And I'd say that babyface turn of Playboy Buddy Rose and Rip in a cage match in Seattle, when there was a couple guys tried to attack, when I did the job for him there. It was a lot of heat. There was knives around the ring. We had about 8,000 people in Seattle, Washington, in '83. I can remember. That's the best, Hannibal.
Was that Don Owens promoting Seattle, so the territory went all the way up to Seattle?
Yes, it was. It was Don Owens, great promoter in the Pacific Northwest, Portland wrestling, and yes, and he also had big time wrestling with Dutch Savage in Seattle on TV. And I wrestled Rip. We had one of the best feuds in my life. I had ones with Hercules or two, but this one here is I have a big memory of it, and because I was just breaking in. So I'm really loyal to Rip Oliver, and like I say, I love him so much, and it's really hard. All these wrestlers, Rocky Johnson, Kendo Nagasaki just died, as you know. It's hard to see your brothers and sisters die in this business, Hannibal.
Did you work with Rocky Johnson over the years?
I never had an opportunity to work with Rocky, but he was in Portland when I was there, as I was just starting, and he was just leaving. And I'm pretty sure it was his son, The Rock, that was there young. I think about 8 to 10 years old or something, back in '82. And now look at The Rock today. He's absolutely the best probably actor there is, and a real role model for pro wrestling.
And I think he's by far made more money than any wrestler will ever make, if you include all the money he's made from Hollywood.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Did you hear about Pat Patterson at the Rocky Johnson's funeral? I guess he was being a little inappropriate during his speech, so they ended up cutting his mic. The family wasn't offended, but some people in the audience um, thought that Patterson might be losing it a little bit.
Hannibal, I did not. I did not. I've been very, very careful on the internet, but also my mind has been occupied by taking care of Rip Oliver. So no, I missed it all. I don't know. It sounds pretty. I don't understand why he would say that at Rocky Johnson's funeral. What did he say?
I guess he used the word goddamn a few times and shit, and I guess he made a joke that the last thing he said, I guess, before his mic was cut off was, was drunk and I thought I was drinking out of the sink this morning, but then the toilet seat fell on my head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe, he went after too many wrestlers with halcyons, or maybe he took one up the ass. Who knows? Listen, Hannibal, he's done some detrimental shit to a lot of friends of mine on halcyon. And you can't remember shit when you got the halcyon in a drink. He did it to girls, the boys, and Patterson, man, they've done it.
Yeah, we all know you didn't have the greatest experience with him over the years, but Kendo Nagasaki also passed away. I think there was two Kendos. There was the one that was famous in England, and then this one was also known as the Dragon Master in WCW, I believe. But did you ever have much personal experience with that one?
Not with Dragon Master, Hannibal, but with Kendo Nagasaki. We were on a couple front cover magazines together in '84, and he was also a great friend of mine at one time in '84. We were pretty close. We kind of in Japan, and we kind of how the business kind of drifts you apart. But always liked Kendo, Rocky. It's just a great loss. It's horrible, man.
And since I last talked to you, I found out one of your fans sent me this video by, I believe his name is the Mighty Casey, a rap artist who actually made a rap song about your situation with Boys on the Track. I tracked this guy down. I interviewed him. I guess he was really interested in the Boys on the Tracks case. Then he saw your story on it. He believed your story. And then I guess he was writing an essay on it. But when he was trying to write this essay, the song came to him. So he decided to do a rap instead of a essay. I know you've seen the song. I was wondering what your opinion on the song is, and it's not every day somebody makes up a song about you, so I thought that was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it until I think it was January 14th or something, and then it came out January 14th. I just seen it. Oh God, I think it was maybe. I honestly don't know when I seen it. I've been so stressed out here, and it's just that I thought they'd done a great job on it. I think there's a special prosecutor now in Arkansas that's trying to indict me, and as the accessory. So if they do, I don't know what's going to happen. So, and that's really the shoot there. And I got a good team out there, detectives and all kinds of people helping me. Arkansas State Police have believed me because I took the polygraphs. And innocent or guilty man would have taken them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would not have taken them. And I did. And the other everybody else has walked away. They didn't take them. The real people that did it. And, I've been honest about everything. And that's all you can do. I found the Lord in 2012. I was very extremely radical in my life. And it's calmed me down. And I decided to come forward with it. And, what happens. You got it off my heart, my chest. And but as far as the rap video goes, yeah, they've done a great job, and I'm glad the guy believes me. And there's a detective, Keith Ronsevall, and private investigator that believe me. I took 2 polygraphs, so I wasn't. If I was making it up, I sure as hell wouldn't have done that. And I'm glad that a lot of fans believe me, and so that's it comes from my heart, like everything else.
You know that my channel does cover a little bit of UFO stuff as well, and there seems to be a lot of cattle mutilations in the Oregon area, and some fans wanted me to ask you what your opinion is on these mysterious cattle mutilations where basically the blood has been sucked out of these cattle and it looks like procedures have been done on them. There's no trace of really any evidence on what could cause this, and there's usually not any bugs or scavenger animals that even touch these cows after they've been mutilated, but it happens a lot in Oregon. So I was just curious if you've heard about any of those situations and what you think might be causing those, because there's many people that have theories.
Well, my theory is this: I don't know much about the cattle mutilations and stuff like that, but I know Antifa started out there in Portland, Oregon. There's been a lot of violence and a few deaths over the Antifa thing. And I don't know. I think right now the government is trying to misdirect everything. Not Trump, but I think the opposition with this impeachment bullshit and all the other stuff. It's just it's radicalizing everything. And I just wish they'd let the guy run the country, Trump, because he's doing a damn good job. And that's my opinion. As far as, I don't know anything about the cattle, but I do know about the chemtrails. They leave it all over, and I think it's well, I kind of know that it's a mind disorder to make you think negative. It drops on everybody. Look up chemtrails, and they'll see for themselves. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, it seems a lot of people in the wrestling industry, maybe it's because Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's had a lot of wrestling connection over the years, but a lot of people in the wrestling industry support Trump and are definitely against. It seems like it's a big waste of time and energy and money, this whole impeachment thing.
Yeah, I do too. And you think that a guy like me, we're suing the WWF, WWE for $1 billion, and the appellate court's going to be, I think, in March, and it goes to the appeal. Going to be in New York, not Connecticut, where he probably, I can't get into that because my attorney will get upset with me. But I started the lawsuit. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think Trump's doing a great job, and he's Vince McMahon's junior's friend. And I just call it the way I see it. It's not helping my case saying I'm a Trumper, but I just think he's doing one hell of a job for our country. What's wrong with wearing a USA hat? For God's sake, our own country.
Nothing at all. And I actually do hope to be a citizen down there one of these days. But speaking of the lawsuit, I know you didn't hear this because you don't follow the wrestling news, but Sylvain Grenier, he's a close friend of Pat Patterson. The rumor is he was a stripper in Montreal. Patterson discovered him, got him pretty much into wrestling. He was immediately put into an angle with Hogan. That didn't work. Then he was put into La Resistance. But the reason I'm bringing his name up is because his name was listed on the lawsuit. But last week, he was brought back to WWE as an agent, so I found it interesting that WWE, who's usually very bitter against people that sue them, have brought in one of the members of the lawsuit you're involved with.
I did hear about it. I know I started a lawsuit in 2014. Do we got time enough so I can go into it a little bit, about maybe 30 seconds to 45 seconds?
Oh, yeah, whatever. We can go, you can say whatever you want about it.
Okay, I have to be careful with my language here and how I phrase it and so forth. But I started the lawsuit in 2014 because I talked to Vince and Howard Finkel. I talked to Howard Finkel and he put me on Voiced. And Vince was in the background. It sounded like Vince anyway. And I said, if you pay me $250,000 in the royalties you owe me, plus probably $500,000, that I will not sue you because the NFL just got through winning $1 billion for CTE. And started laughing, and rub two quarters together. I said, Vince, you're going to go down for this. You know me very well. I met him back in the 70s. Won't go into that right now. But he started laughing at me, and when he hung up, I said, F this, man. And this is the way I am. I contacted the attorney that won the NFL for $1 billion something. And he said he'd take the case about a week later and use me as the Associated Press guy. And I sued him for $5.2 million, and that's going to be going to court here very shortly, in about a year, 6 months. And in the major lawsuit, class action was if we had 50 guys or more. So I went to work, got demolition, Tim Patera, Butch Reed, Albert Kamala, Ahmed Johnson, everybody in WrestleMania. And then Vince just absolutely freaked out. And that's as far as I can take it. The lawsuit continues.
But you can only assume that Grenier will be out of the class action lawsuit now that he's back working for them.
Hannibal, I honestly don't know anything about that, but it would seem to me that if they're taking Grenier back, anybody can back out of a lawsuit, but it seems kind of foolish to do it because they're so close to winning it. The appellate court, and it's going to go to New York, not Connecticut. So it's an ignorant thing to do if you did do it, but there had to be some money, or maybe he said he was a stripper, maybe he took it up the ass.
Well, he's always had a relationship with Patterson, so I truly believe Patterson would have had to pull some strings because it's unusual that a low-card guy like that, a guy that's was never really that popular, they would bring him back of all the people that were in the lawsuit. Like Road Warrior Animal, in my opinion, would make a way better agent than Sylvain Grenier, but they brought back Grenier, for instance, which makes me believe something fishy went down behind the scenes. But I know you don't have the best reception there, so I won't take any more of your time. I hope a lot of the fans listening make it out to Tampa, WrestleMania weekend, April 3rd and 4th, George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. You're going to be there on behalf of the Hannibal TV, maybe even doing some interviews for us, which would be cool, along with signing autographs. That would be, I think, a first for you, but I think you'd be great at it personally.
Well, like I said last time, Hannibal, you're, in my opinion, you're the best wrestler out there that hasn't got the push to the top. And I know it had to do with the Hep C. Was that the Hep C you said that they canceled you out?
I lost my contract because of the Hep C. That was the official reason why I lost the contract.
I just don't understand that because there's a lot of guys that had Hep C. Hercules had Hep C.
They didn't do pre-contract testing back then. That was the difference. Now, Chris Benoit actually caused the whole thing because they never did medical tests before wrestlers signed prior to him losing it. But now they test everybody, both physical and mental tests before they sign them.
Well, you understand that back in Order, it was bloodbaths almost every night. I mean, if you were on top working angles, what we would do is just bust each other open where we gigged the night before instead of using the razor blade twice in a row, right? And rub our head in blood on each other and drink it and get in the mat where other blood's been dropped. You know what I mean? But you know what? I have a feeling they're gonna come after you. And WWE you're going to sign something big. I can feel it. If you don't, your TV's going to carry you big. No one's going to volunteer for a Hep C treatment. Both you and I have it. We both now are cured. And I don't know why you're not in it. But I'll do anything for Hannibal TV because I love and respect you 100% honestly. And God has put me in your direction. I heard about your grandmother being ill, Joan.
Yes.
And I'll say a prayer for tonight, Hannibal. And I'm looking forward to WrestleCon, April 2nd and 3rd at the Hannibal TV booth. I mean, you're the greatest thing going in pro wrestling. I'm honored to represent you.
Thanks, and I've been watching a lot more of your matches since our shoot interview. You were definitely underrated. And Kevin, I'm going to put out the clip probably in the next few weeks of Kevin Sullivan talking about you when I interviewed him a few weeks ago. But he said if it wasn't for that injury and your stint being short in WCW, he felt that you could have gone all the way with that black blood angle.
Hannibal, yeah, Kevin was a great manager. Had a great time with him and One Man Gang. And like we said last time when I talked to you, about my finish there. It was kind of funny because I did it myself and Turner went with it. Dusty really had very little to do with it. I talked to Turner myself, all of it. Dusty was his booking. He never liked me. I never liked him. I've been very frank about that. But, Dusty's gone. I'd like to back everybody. I'm just giving you my opinion. Always, 100%, how I feel. I'm sad that he died. How is Billy Graham doing, by the way?
He's not doing too bad these days. He's not doing great, but I haven't heard anything. There's been no fluctuations or anything like that.
Yeah, boy, he's, what a great guy he is. Jeez, man.
I'm supposed to do another interview with him in March. So
yeah, well,
I'll get him to say something about you in that interview.
Yeah, Billy and I were really tight, and we worked arm wrestling in Florida and so forth. That's when he was about 40, I was 30, and but I've always had a fond love for superstar back in the Schwarzenegger era, and in '84 we were pretty tight, pretty tight. It just takes you here and there, right?
Yeah.
But I mean it when I said you should have had the biggest push of anybody. I've watched your matches in Canada up there in the Great Northern promotion, and I don't know why Vince didn't go with you.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. Thank you. God bless you for taking care of Rip. You're a great friend to him, and I'll catch up with you again, I'm sure, sometime as we get closer to WrestleCon.
You bet, Hannibal. I don't want anybody out there to think that, that I don't like the wrestlers and stuff like that. It's just that I had a different business outside of wrestling, inside of wrestling. It was hard to juggle both. And like Brian Blair told me in Cauliflower Alley Pub, the wrestlers walked on eggshells around me. But, now people know what I was doing and they understand it. But it's the wrestlers, unless they F with me, I didn't F with them. The ones that did, well, I'm like you, man. I take care of it.
Oh, and one last thing. Did Rob Feinstein ever tell you why he didn't put out the video that they did with us? Because I find it weird. They went to all that trouble to record it. I know you were supposedly paid very well for it, but it seems like they don't want to put it out for whatever reason.
I don't know. But you and I worked a great angle. A lot of people believe it. It was extremely well. And even a lot of pros actually believed it was for real. But hey, man, that's a business. I don't know. That stymies me myself. I really don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, maybe the little dork interviewer there was offended or something by how I treated him. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. No. All I can say, I'm out in the road for the reception, hearing cars go by.
Yeah.
And what I have to say about that, when I heard about Feinstein, he's always treated me good, and calling him a spade, that's the way I am. When I heard that he went after a young boy, pedophilia, whatever you want to call it, he didn't get busted, whatever, it really turned me off. And I'm damn glad he didn't put it out there.
We'll leave it at that. And if anyone wants to follow you on Twitter, listen to this. It's BJH Wrestling on Twitter. And anyone that has questions for Billy Jack for our next shoot interview, write them in the comments of this video, and we'll take a look at them before we do our part 2 shoot interview.
Thank you, Hannibal, and I want to thank the great people up there, great work in Canada, unbelievable wrestling fans up there, beautiful wrestling fans, great wrestling fans all over Canada. Okay, and it's too hard. And also fans in the United States. And I'd love to see you get dual citizenship, Canadian-American. One thing for sure, you're unbelievable Canadian, and you'd be an unbelievable American, and I will be honest and tell you, I love you like I do my own son.